everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are here to talk about why membership plans really offer the greatest opportunity for practice stability and growth. And one of those big things we're always comparing is, how does a membership plan compare to a traditional insurance plan that your patient can buy? My name is Megan Lohman. I am Plan Forward CEO, and with us today is Dr. Jason Flanagan. Dr. Flanagan is a practicing dentist out of Westfield, Indiana, and he's also super involved in the dental community around here, so we're very fortunate that he's taken the time to be with us. But
thanks for having me.
We're going to dive into these numbers, but it's so awesome that Dr. Flanagan is here because he's going to be able to share with us from his personal perspective in an actual dental office setting how this membership plan affects both him and his staff. So if you can, just let us know you're here. We'd love to get a like or a love or a wow. Show us that this information is relevant to you. It helps reinforce that the information we're putting out is actually helping the people we serve. So again, as I'm talking to all these prospects and customers around the country, I get this same question. Why would a patient join your membership plan over buying an insurance policy for the same price? And it's a great question. And I believe when office managers and providers really understand these numbers and can easily and clearly explain this to patient, it makes growing your membership plan that much easier. So also, we would love to know where you're tuning in from. I forgot to mention that. So if you could, please hit the comment button and share your city and state. We'd love to know where you're watching us from today. So when I'm talking to these providers, they're building these plans for one of three reasons. Number one, they want to retain the patients that they've worked so hard to serve, either because they don't have insurance or because they're going through an insurance change. So having this membership plan is a great thing for your patients to consider. Number two is they're looking to attract new patients, possibly patients that don't have insurance. Or number three, it's kind of a combination of the two, and they want to build up this membership population so that they can drop some of these PPOs that maybe aren't reimbursing hardly anything. So as I dive into these numbers, feel free to share your comments and your feedback. We would love to answer those as we're live on the broadcast, but if we don't have time, we'll definitely keep an eye on that and be sure to get back to you. So this is an insurance plan. This is just a very basic example of how some of these numbers compare. This is an actual insurance plan I found that is offered by a very well-known insurance company. So we're going to assume, well, this plan offers a $1,000 maximum benefit for the patient, and the monthly premium is $30. So we're going to consider just the patient impact at this point. So for the 2 recall appointments throughout the year, assuming they've paid their premium, they're not going to pay anything in theory out of pocket. And now we're going to pretend that the patient has a treatment plan, like a $3,000 treatment plan, essentially 2 crowns. So this insurance plan offered a 50% benefit for major restorative procedures. So the patient is probably going to have a $50 deductible applied, and then the insurance paying at 50% in theory would be $1,475. But because they've already paid out money for those 2 recall appointments, there's the lovely thing called remaining benefits. So that's when they're not going to pay that full $1,400. They're only going to pay $650. So the patient's out of pocket just for the treatment plan is $2,350. So when you take that number plus the premium of $30 per month, it puts the patients out of pocket at $2,710. Now for the provider, assuming I just sort of use this as a general number for what the 2 recall appointments are, but the provider's going to collect 100% of those the services for the recall visits, and then the provider's also going to collect the full $3,000 for the treatment plan, because we're assuming this provider is out of network. So the provider impact is actually going to be they're going to collect $3,350. Now we're going to take these this same example and look at the numbers as if this patient were a membership patient. So a very common discount for a membership plan is a 20% discount for patients for restorative procedures. And $30 is a pretty average monthly payment for an adult for a membership plan. So for the 2 recall appointments, the patient is going to pay this membership fee. So the patient's paying $360. And let's assume they have that same $3,000 treatment plan. The deductible is not going to be applied. If they get the 20% discount for being a member, they're going to save $600. There's no remaining benefits to consider, so their out-of-pocket for the same treatment plan is $2,400. So the out-of-pocket for the treatment plan and their monthly membership fee is $2,760. Now the provider is collecting this monthly membership payment, which is one thing that you don't get with the insurance premium. Is it's recurring. It's being paid to you regardless of whether that patient walks through your door, which is a little bit of a different mindset than on the traditional insurance model. And the patient or the provider is willing to accept only 80% of that full fee, so they're going to collect $2,400 for that treatment plan, putting the provider at an income of $2,760 for the year. So to put those side by side, we're going to look at the patient. It's about $50 difference from a traditional insurance plan versus a membership plan. And the provider, if they're out of network, they're going to be able to collect $3,300 as opposed to $2,760. And this is where, actually, I have one other thing I wanted to touch on before we talk with Dr. Flanagan. But this is a chart that the ADA put out. And this was an analysis done by the Health Policy Institute, and it essentially answers the question, should your patient buy a plan if you are willing to offer a discount? And you can just look at these numbers. Basically, this is what your patients are considering when buying an insurance plan, and this is what they would be paying out of pocket at each age group if you're willing to offer a discount or essentially a membership plan. So you can see that there really is not a huge value to patients to buy a traditional insurance plan when they could just pay the dentist directly and work directly with the dentist and cut out that insurance middleman. So to touch on some of these intangibles that these slides don't show, I really would love Dr. Flanagan to share a little bit about his membership plan, the size of it, how long it's been in business, and also how a membership plan has impacted not only the way he practices, but how his staff manages the plan.
Yeah, thanks, Megan. Very good. And so it makes a lot of sense here. It looks like you can save all kinds of money by being on a membership. But no, in all reality, as Megan has asked me and people have asked me when I do this, what is the biggest advantage of the memberships? And I usually say 2 words. One of it's transparency. It's price transparency. It shows the patient knows what it's going to be. We know what it's going to be. Very transparent. As well as I call it limitless or time save. When I say a membership, this patient's on a membership in our office in our morning huddles, people are like high-fiving because we don't have to worry about what limitations are going to be with this insurance plan, whether we're in network or out of network. We don't have to worry about an annual maximum like we were talking about. We don't have to worry about if fluoride is going to be covered or if we got to take x-rays once every 24 months. And those limits that we as the office are kind of responsible to know. And I know people are out there saying, well, it's the patient's responsibility. And I agree with that too, but we're the ones that know the insurance, and that's a service that we provide to our patients. And to be able to give them the best estimate is tough, and it's becoming tougher and tougher every day.
Right.
And in our practice, we've been doing a membership for nearly 7 years, a little bit over. You were very instrumental, and when you came in and said, we got to make this thing better, and I said, well, let's do it. So we turned it into a monthly recurring revenue model. And my goal was to set out to create a revenue model in my office that would cover rent. Yeah. Right? Remember that?
Yeah.
And I said, we can do it. And you know what? 7 years later, we're right there.
Yeah.
And it sounds long, 7 years, but to be honest with you, it took a long time until we had something like Plan Forward or a software that was able to manage the credit cards and the payments and the recurring revenue and making sure people didn't fall off and then jump back on. So, a software that was able to run that and administer it, because Megan grew our plan and then she left and had a few children, and then I called her up and I said, Megan,
Help
this
me out.
plan you did, we need some software. It's taken us days to know where things are. And I said, go find this software. And she said, I got an idea. Let's make it. So that's it. Yeah, what other things help out?
So one other thing that doctors always, especially if you're a fee-for-service office, you're looking at your patient base as a whole, and you're out of network with everyone, and you're collecting your full fees. But the one thing that I think you have touched on has been just how the habits change for membership patients. So you've mentioned this to me before, but your membership patients, yes, you are willing to offer a discount and you're reducing your fees, but the behavior of your patients change.
It is. And again, it goes back to that word transparency. I mean, the behavior changes because we're laying it on the table. We're saying, this is what we're willing to give you, patient. We want to give you 20% discount. We want to give you loyalty. We want to show you that. And instead of a patient, if I was fee for service and they didn't have insurance, they may come in once a year, or they come in and they got the big 3 crowns and SRP and they do part of it and then they come back 2 years later. We've found in our offices and in other offices we've worked with that the case acceptance is the word everybody likes to use. The case acceptance with memberships goes up tremendously. And now, do I have a finger exactly why that is? Is it financial? Is it loyalty? Is it the limitlessness? I don't know. I think it's a combination of all those, because we all, as providers, know that treatment plans are ideal, here you go. But we always know when it's an insurance plan, or it always comes down to, we all have limits. Money. It comes down to time. And the membership allows us to remove some of those limitations that we're accustomed to provide better, healthier care with our patients.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I think hearing directly from a provider, and honestly, I had these conversations myself when I worked for Dr. Flanagan all the time. I was comparing these numbers, but it's hard to show you by just comparing numbers some of the intangibles that you're really going to get by building this membership base and really having the opportunity to create the stability within your practice and grow that recurring revenue. So we hope you found this information to be very beneficial. We would love it if you would leave your questions and your comments, tag a friend, tag a dentist, tag an office manager. We're going to be paying attention to those comments. And also, if you have questions or would love us to do something like this on a different topic, we welcome those suggestions as well. So thank you again for your time, and if you are interested in a demo or checking out Plan Forward, we invite you to go to our website, www.planforward.io, and we will be in touch with you quickly. Thanks again. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you, guys. See ya.